Lokati here. Today we are back in PoE1. Thanks to the delay from 3.26 from GGG, Pohx has opted to open up a new league. So we are playing Settlers version 5.0, which is exactly the same as 4.0 and 3.0 and 2.0 and 1.0. Actually, no, technically 4.0 was the Necro Settlers bullshit. And so a little bit different there. But we're back at it. We are playing our Lightning Strike Slayer build. This is like our 24-hour day one recap on the build. I was a little slow getting started on it, but it is coming along just fine. To give you an idea of the gear that we do have a Rebuke of the Vol Blade. We have a Beast Cowl Fencer Helm that's just life, armor, evasion, resistances. I'm using a Victario's Acuity turquoise amulet because I got one really early and it's been good. I think a Carnage Heart would probably be better, and then of course a Yoke would be best in slot, but this thing is cheaper than a Carnage Heart and has been doing very, very good. I've been enjoying it very much, and it allowed us to get Frenzy and Power charges on kill way before we could ever spec into it in the tree, so don't sleep on this little Acuity amulet. We did get a really good shield that just kind of fell on the ground. This is Spell Suppression, Block Chance, Armor Evasion, Max Life, Cold Res, and Avoid Ailments. So very, very pleased with this one. We got a 5-link armor that is just kind of hot garbage, but it's got 5 links on it, and it's got some life on it, and some reasonable armor and evasion. Got a couple of amethyst rings with life and resistances on them, and a little bit of offensive attributes. And we have some gloves that have life and resistances. We have a Belt of the Deceiver, which is a phenomenal starter belt. And we have some Dark Ray Vectors that we did buy off of the trade house for 9 Chaos Orbs. And these are, of course, best in slot until you get to Ralakesh. And so that is where we're at from a gearing perspective. We are running multi-strike support on Lightning Strike with Return Proj, Trinity, and added fire damage, so that we can guarantee our Trinity. The added fire damage is probably not necessary anymore, so we'll look at changing that relatively soon. Since we've got the Rebuke of the Vol, it's got a wide enough range of elemental affixes. We don't need added fire damage that we would have needed on a pure Fizz sword. And then of course we are running a Vol Lightning Strike because Vol Lightning Strike is the best choice for single target damage. Our passive tree is almost exactly like the guide. We're kind of transitioning between the early and the mid build by giving up life tap and taking Clever Thief up here with instant leech mastery, and but we're still precise technique, so we haven't moved over into crit. We have not taken the life nodes here and the life node up here because we don't have enough accuracy to take those life nodes yet, so we're still running a little bit lower on life than we would like, but we do have relatively good evasion rating, and we are block capped and 55% spell block, so very, very good set of defenses. And of course we're running sword mastery for the extra frenzy charges here. Now let's go ahead and hop into just the Maven's Invitation. This is like our first little Maven's Invitation on the character with the bosses that we've collected. And we just got deleted. Like, he just deleted me from range. Back in we go. Now, if we have our leech going, we're of course much tankier. Don't let yourself get deleted before you even engage in the combat. Very poor planning on somebody's part. I do believe that falls under blame the pilot, not the build. As you can see, very solid damage. No loot here looks like it's worth anything in particular. We're just collecting... Right now we're just collecting chaos recipes, and I have an excessive amount of all of those items, and none of those bases mean anything to us. So we're going to go ahead and hop out here, and we're going to grab a map and see how it performs in maps. Now I'm up to T7 map, so we'll grab this race course map right here and identify it. The only thing that we really have an inability to do right now completely is elemental reflection, and that's not entirely true. I do have a Sibyl's Lament, and we can take our minor Pantheon in order to do our Sibyl's Lament, in order to do our elemental reflection maps. So we can take Sibyl's Lament and the minor Pantheon to reduce all the reflected damage, but that breaks our resistances, so it makes the map a little bit more tough until we get better backup gear for that. But in the meantime, map time. So playstyle on Lightning Strike is really straightforward. You Lightning Strike, everything dies. Blood Rage, you'll need to probably cast one time the entire time you're doing the map. It's not complicated. Every time you kill something, it'll refresh Blood Rage, so if it falls off, just cast it again. You do need to be attacking stuff consistently, so try to move quickly through the map, because if you're not attacking stuff, you don't have your Overleech cap going, then you can get stuck in a point where Blood Rage drains your life, and then you get one-tapped by something at range, like we did on the Maven fight there, because we had no leech active, and our primary defense is the 10% less damage we take while leeching, and the actual leech recovery itself. These are both very, very important to it. Now these Verisiums are still super nasty, so we're not going to charge this up all of the way. We'll charge it up to maybe thirds and let it go. Drop our Vol Lightning Strikes. We're going to hit our Tincture so that we can make sure that we have our Tincture active while we're fighting these guys, and kill everything just fine. Now, as far as Flasks go, I need much better Flasks, but I am not a big fan of running non-automated Flasks. So, right now, I'm somehow weapon swapped onto my backup weapons. So right now, I am not really engaging too much with any of my Flasks, except for Granite Flask whenever I hit my Life Flask, and my Movement Flask. I have an Amethyst Flask in case I catch a Poison or a Chaos Degen, anything like that. But once we are able to automate our Flasks, we will spend a lot more investment on getting our Flasks put together so that they are much stronger for us. Flasks are one of the most important parts of your character, so if you do not mind actually manually controlling your Flasks, get really good ones. But until then, I will just be struggle bussing. We got that fancy tincture. Maybe that'll sell for something. I'm not a fan of it. The tincture I have is an increased effect and elemental penetration. You can either run the increased effect and elemental penetration, or you can run the increased effect and attack speed. They're both relatively the same, although the Ellie Pen does tend to come out ahead in better sets of. Same thing here as before. Drop our Vol Lightning Strikes, hit our Tincture, melt everything, collect the loot. Build runs great. I'll include links below to the original videos for the build, as well as the leveling guide on the build. And I will also include a link to the character as he is set up right now, so you can kind of see where we're at to get to this point. And if you have any questions over anything, just drop a comment down below or come by Twitch. I'm happy to answer all of the questions that you have. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.